Have burning questions about leadership? Dr. Andrea has the answers. Elevate your career with expert insights while learning emerging trends. No judgment, just honesty. Boost your confidence and control your narrative. Dr. Andrea, Leadership Redefined.
Hey, we're back on the Dr. Andrea Show. I'm Grace Ann Johnson, and I'm so excited to be here with you. Ask Dr. Andrea. Dr. Andrea, we have the next question for you, and it is,
Yes.
What steps can I take to communicate better with my team?
Ooh, this is a great one, because with communication, you have the message, you have the receiver, and in between you have something called noise. And let's do that again. You have the message, you have the receiver, and there's something called the noise that's in between.
I'm all in.
Right. And so what you have to do is try to navigate that noise. Mm-hmm. And part of the way of navigating that noise is understanding how the receiver is going to interpret what you say. Now, of course, this is not a foolproof method because, people's perceptions and experiences influence how they hear and how they receive and interpret information. Mm-hmm. But in order to be a better communicator with your team, because now it's not just one person, you have several people, right? One thing to do is to outline your thoughts. What is it that I want to say? That's number one. Number two, what is the most succinct way I can communicate this to my team? And we think that communication to the team is always verbal, but a lot of things can get lost in translation in the written communication, because what do? Sometimes we have things in our head and we think that, oh, that's what I said, right? Or that's what was translated in what I wrote, because we're so used to just getting things off of our desk and crossing things off our list. We don't actually go back and reread what we've just written. We don't go back and say, well, did I make sure I covered all this? Is my tone correct? I mean, a lot of us know the things about don't write in caps because, the interpretation is yelling, or don't put red because they think it's anger. We understand those basic things, right? But this goes beyond that. And so the question really is what do you want to say, right? And maybe, if you want to talk about cows, you don't start the discussion with widgets. Because what if you just get to the point? Sometimes we need you to get to the point. But sometimes we talk about all these other things and we just don't get to the point. So by the time we want to get to the point, we forgot what we wanted to say. And guess what happened? You have about a 30-second attention span for people. So if you haven't gotten to your point in the first 2 to 3 lines, guess what they're doing? They're tuning you out. That's number one. Number two, if you keep sending ambiguous content, they're definitely going to tune you out and they're just going to become more frustrated. So you want to be clear on what you want to be clear on your intention. And guess what? Thank goodness for the advent of AI. Throw that bad boy in AI. Say, this is what I want to tell people. Make it sound better. And it will rewrite your communication to your people. And guess what? You're going to be like, thank you. And your frustration level is going to be alleviated because you have assistance now, as opposed to you trying to figure out everything. Say, these are the 3 things I want to say. I can't tell you how many times I've written this long War and Peace thing, and it comes back with like a paragraph.
Wow.
And when I see the paragraph, I'm like, great. And that's what I send. So use the tools. Number one, use the tools available to you. The second thing is be very clear on what you want to communicate. And number 3, practice. And then get feedback. Ask your team, do you have any questions? Not in a bad way. Was this clear to you? If you have any questions, please, open door policy, come and tell them, do not do reply all unless it is absolutely necessary, because what happens with reply all, delete, and then you don't even want to write, and it's a bad habit. So use the tools around you, artificial intelligence, throw it in there, ask for feedback, and practice your communication, and get in contact with someone like me who can help you and that's the written communication. But verbal communication is also equally important.
Yes.
The way that you structure your sentences, the way that you cut through what you have to say, and you have to listen. And maybe the first point they said wasn't really the point that they really want to talk about. They just started with points. See, and don't assume that they know how to communicate with you either. There's a whole lot to think. Just, communication is a two-way street. So understand the message, understand the receiver, and try to mitigate that noise in between. And if you want some more examples, scan that QR code, make an appointment, and let's talk about how we can make sure that your department is rocking and rolling, and you are rocking and rolling with your peers.
Yes, I love that. Communication, how to communicate better with your team. With Ask Dr. Andrea. Dr. Andrea, that is phenomenal. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Grace. Scan that QR code and let's talk some more.
Thanks for joining the Ask Dr. Andrea show. Scan the QR code to submit your question today. Boost confidence, master communication, and leverage your talents. Dr. Andrea, Leadership Redefined.